Hi kids, welcome back. This one is going to be the first of 3 videos chronicling the science fiction, fantasy, and possibly a little bit of horror of stuff that shaped my geekly outlook, as it were, but with a twist. I'm going to be chronicling stuff pre-1977. So no Star Wars, just the stuff before. I may get very close to the 1977, including some things that did come out in 77, but I'm going to stop at Star Wars. So this week's video, just to let you know, the whole thing is consisting of film, TV, and stuff in print. So we'll start off with the movies from like the 50s all the way up to 1977. I'll try and do them in chronological order. Now, I'm going to miss out a load of things. I'm just kind of going by the ones that I saw growing up. There may be loads I haven't seen. There may be some you haven't seen. Let me know which ones you grew up with and which ones you could also suggest that I haven't seen. That would be cool. Don't worry, there are 20 films coming up. I'm just going to put the posters up and talk over it, and I'm going to get through it in under 7 minutes. Hold on to your hats. Here we go. Okay, let's get into it. 1950 Hammer horror films. All the way through the 50s, 60s and 70s, various directors directed for the British studio known for its gothic adaptations of classic monsters like Dracula and Frankenstein, emphasizing mood, suspense and supernatural terror. Instantly brings memories of Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing, scantily clad gothic babes and buckets of red paint. 1953, The War of the Worlds. George Pal's American take on the H.G. Wells invasion classic. A $2 million budget, and most of that went on SFX. No tripods here as such, but the iconic manta ray style spaceships. 1954, Godzilla. Ishiro Honda's kaiju science fiction film, a cautionary tale about nuclear devastation, featuring a giant rubber monster awakened by atomic testing and that iconic roar. Old Gojira is still popular today. The recent Godzilla -1 scooped an Oscar for Best Visual Effects in 2024. 1955, This Island Earth. Joseph M. Newman's science fiction extravaganza. Scientists are lured into helping an alien race in a galactic war, highlighting themes of trust and manipulation. It's cheesy, but it had a huge budget of the time of $800,000. Universal's first Technicolor film, immortalized by Mystery Science Theater 3000's merciless heckling in 1996. Interocitor. 1956, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Don Siegel's science fiction horror, a chilling Cold War allegory about conformity featuring alien pods replacing humans. A 1978 remake starred Leonard Nimoy. 1964, The First Men in the Moon, Nathan Juran's science fiction adventure based on H.G. Wells' novel. This film explores Victorian space travel and a lunar alien civilization. Very early steampunk vibes here, I feel. 1966, Fantastic Voyage. Richard Fleischer's science fiction adventure, a miniaturized submarine crew ventures inside a human body to save a scientist, blending science and suspense. Groundbreaking visual effects and the breathtaking wonder of the human body, mainly Raquel Welch's. 1967's Quatermass and the Pit. Roy Ward Baker's science fiction horror classic. A mysterious archaeological find reveals ancient alien influence on human evolution. I saw this in the 1970s and I watched it recently, and it still creeps me out. 1968, Planet of the Apes. Franklin J. Schaffner's science fiction time travel classic. A time-traveling astronaut, George Taylor, discovers a desperate world ruled by intelligent apes, exploring themes of evolution and societal collapse. Oscar-winning makeup effects in this Charlton Heston classic that started a franchise that still entertains nearly 60 years later. 1968, 2001, A Space Odyssey. Stanley Kubrick's iconic science fiction mystery. A visionary epic about human evolution, artificial intelligence, and cosmic mystery. I would try to explain it here, but I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that. 1971, THX 1138. George Lucas's very early dystopian science fiction. A sterile future where individuality is suppressed, reflecting fears of dehumanization. It was given a CGI update in 2004 because George can't stop messing about with his movies. It's not bad though. 1971, The Omega Man. Boris Sagal directed a post-apocalyptic science fiction. One of the last men on Earth battles mutated survivors after a biological war. Charlton Heston adding again to his science fiction action hero reputation. Remade in 2007 with Will Smith in I Am Legend. 1972, Silent Running. A lone botanist played by Bruce Dern preserves Earth's last forests in space, wrestling with ecological loss. This film invented the cute robots before R2-D2, performed by 4 bilateral amputees inside the tiny 2-legged suits. I have a Dewey tattoo, you know. 1973, Westworld. Michael Crichton's science fiction thriller Before Jurassic Park. A futuristic amusement park, is a theme here, with robot hosts, spirals into chaos when technology goes rogue. I'm convinced Yul Brynner's unstoppable gunslinger was the inspiration for the T-1000 in Terminator 2. Watch it and decide for yourself. Also in 1973, Soylent Green. Richard Fleischer's dystopian science fiction. Set in an overpopulated future, it explores environmental decay and corporate control of food. Chuck Heston once again with his paranoid, rebellious everyman. 1974, Killdozer. A science fiction horror directed by Jerry London. A bulldozer possessed by an alien force attacks workers on a remote island. This was a TV movie adapted from a 1944 novella of the same name. As a kid, I always called it Kill Bulldozer, as that's what my dad said it was called. Also 1974, Dark Star. John Carpenter's sci-fi comedy. A low-budget satire of space exploration featuring bored astronauts and a sentient bomb. John Carpenter's directorial debut cost him $60,000, and it looks like it cost about $5. I still don't know what to think of this. 1975, Rollerball. Norman Jewison directs this dystopian science fiction sports tale. In a future controlled by corporations, a violent sport is used to control the masses. James Caan is the futuristic gladiator caught up in corporate deception. Later he'd star in Alien Nation in the late 80s. 1976, Logan's Run. Directed by Michael Anderson, this is another dystopian science fiction. In a society where life ends at 30, one man flees to discover the truth beyond. Ridiculously posh Michael York and Jenny Agutter play Logan 5 and Jessica 6 respectively, but Jessica is a 10 in my book. The robot, Box, however, is about a 2. And finally, 1977, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Steven Spielberg's science fiction drama. A UFO encounter changes the life of an ordinary man, emphasizing communication and wonder. Richard Dreyfuss in probably his best role, and some absolutely groundbreaking effects and photography. Oof. Well, that was my 20 chronologically ordered science fiction movies. I was going to put in The Incredible Melting Man and Bug, 2 films from the, I think, mid-70s, were very much horror films, but I thought I'd stick with the ones that are kind of most thing to me. Bug, I think they're kind of horror rather than sci-fi, but I hope you enjoyed that. Coming up after that will be television, and then followed by print. Television is a big one. There's about 30 entries in that. But let me know what you thought in the comments, and give us your list of some of the pre-Star Wars stuff that shaped your love of sci-fi, fantasy, horror, etc, etc, etc. Anyway, that's all for me this week. See you next time. Take care now. Bye-bye then.